We're like halfway into 2023, so what better time for me to drop a video meant for late last year? I don't want to clickbait, but I am using the subject of this video as an excuse to talk about a lot of things Tekken. Some of these should not be new to you if you've watched any of my other videos, but I wanted to frame things around something more tangible that you can do to improve. I've been really busy with, and it's been taking a lot of my energy, so this video will be as lightly edited as possible. I don't like it either, but this was the only way this gets made. So yeah, the narrative framing device for today is gonna be pressing jab when the opponent's in negative frames is bad? What kind of hot take is this? More specifically, it's the habit of responding to a blocked move with an immediate jab. It's something that I see a lot of people do because it's safe and intuitive. Jabs are some of the safest moves in the game. If you're gonna check your opponent's disadvantage, you obviously want to do it with a really fast move that's impossible to whiff punish. Look at these frames, they say it's my turn on the Xbox.
-4 on block. It's Law's turn now, Bruce.
The problem here is that your analysis of the situation ends a bit too soon. You're thinking about buttons Tekken, which is the wrong kind of Tekken. Yeah, it's one of those videos again. The strong movement and system mechanics don't really care about your frames most of the time. Frames are important to know, and they will definitely help you figure out what your best options are at any one point. But you definitely cannot let them make the decisions for you. But as usual, let's very quickly hop onto a brief buttons Tekken analysis of the situation anyway. The game is filled with moves that will destroy your bad counterpoking habits, either through crushing or some kind of evasion or just by rotating, you idiot. What are these brain-dead characters doing to my beautiful game? It's very easy to see tools like these and just be upset because the game robbed you. But my sibling in Christ, you're doing the wrong thing to begin with. Really, you're kinda asking for it. Something will quickly become apparent even on the buttons Tekken layer of analysis. The quick moves that you would use to enforce your frame advantage are easy to evade, and your power mids and lows that you would use to take advantage of your frames are slow as hell. But it's fine, my character has a 14 frame homing move. I'm unstoppable. Oh, I'm -9? And I never really made any significant threat damage-wise? Factoring movement into the equation in -4 might as well be neutral. Even with a tiny sidestep block, you can clear fast pokes for most characters, and still have time to block their homing moves. Going back to the jab, you might not get whiff punished for it, unless you press the jab string, in which case RIP Bozo. But you're basically giving your opponent a huge opening to just do whatever they want. Oh, are they now pressing slower buttons to catch your movement? Catch this magic forward! And going even further, when you factor in the risk versus reward, you're not really coming out on top. Keeping yourself safe is one of the most important things in this game, but as we've established, you're definitely not keeping yourself safe. It's very rare to see a move that will cover just about every option without some immediate risk to you. Even without factoring in evasive moves, if you're obsessed with making sure that your opponent does not overstep their frame advantage, you're just as likely to put yourself on the other side of the equation. If your two decisions in response to frame advantage are enforce versus mix, you're kind of basing your game plan on gambling. Let's make this clear. It's a fighting game. There will always be gambling. You cannot escape the gambling. But when it comes to Tekken, someone who bases their decisions on the frames alone will always assume more risk than someone who looks at the game more holistically. Okay, I get it. I got my point across, so here's a better way to frame your thinking about the game. Obviously, from your experience, pressing a fast poke immediately on your opponent's negative frames is a thing that works. It's not a bad thing to do despite all I've said, it's just something that should be a conscious decision to do instead of a default response. You should do it because you know it's going to target one of your opponent's bad habits. And not just because the frame said so and it seemed safe at the time. The safest default response you can have to anything is movement. Yeah, even when you have plus frames. You go from, oh no, it's hard to force a strong mix, and whoops, I got hit by a panic move, to, haha, get your hop kick sidestep, idiots. There are so many ways to turn the opponent's aggression against them, and it's so much easier to control all the weirdness with movement rather than buttons. But that's still not the full picture. Really, the number one thing that you need to base your decisions on is timing. Timing is everything. When does your opponent press, or sidestep, or crouch, or do literally anything? That's the thing that's going to help you get the most complete answer for how to beat them. This might sound obvious, like, haha, just press the right button at the right time, dummy. But Tekken is designed in a way where you can really take advantage of people's habits when they're not conscious of their own timing. For instance, sidestep is so timing dependent that you often have like a 3 to 4 frame window to make it work. But it's so much easier when you know your opponent's timing down to the frame, because they're acting immediately when they recover from something. Same exact thing if their poking consists of immediate timing, fast pokes and slow lows. Same exact thing if your opponent is autopiloting more advanced techniques like sidestep block or sidestep duck. When you start taking advantage of people's bad timing, you immediately get an advantage to almost everything you do. And when you do it with good movement, you're keeping yourself safe at the same time. Your opponent has to adapt, and that's when the real Tekken starts. Conversely, if you see yourself getting hit by weird flowcharts, or getting rotated, or getting crushed like the little bug that you are, it's a sign that you're playing by the frames. You're playing buttons, Tekken. You need to change your approach. Your frames are fake. It is your timing that gives them substance, that makes them real. Your soul is weighed down by the frames. I firmly believe mankind must do everything to prevent the frames from rising up again. But yeah, bullshit aside, just stop pressing and start moving. Or press later, or move and press. Do your thing, find your own rhythm. Or better yet, find their rhythm and mess it up. That's it, ramble over. I hope this helped you examine your own habits a little bit and maybe give you some more insight for why you might be stagnating in red ranks. See you at Evo, I guess. Hit me up.